Hello everyone, welcome back to Full Stack Throttler. In the last video, we explored implementing an image gallery application using clean architecture. We skipped error handling due to time constraints. When something goes wrong, it's crucial to inform the user about what happened and why. Today, we'll fix that by learning how to handle errors effectively. So yes, let's get started. I'm going to perform a search query. We got the response successfully. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn off my Wi-Fi on this computer and also make sure no data is getting transferred. So I'm turning on my network link conditioner. It's going to be 100% loss, and I'm also going to turn off my Wi-Fi here, and I'm going to search for tracing and click search, and immediately we got an error saying that the internet connection appears to be offline. But nothing was shown on the UI for the user, right? So this is just the debug print which I have done it here, but we have to. And also if you notice something this error has been this error actually got thrown from here, and it propagated to the repository where again we caught the error and then thrown it again from here, and again we caught the error on our store now, but we are not actually handling it at all, right? And so typically what we do it we go on create a func, um, handle error, get the error, and what we do is switch error dot. Yeah, let's say that let ns error equal to error as ns error, switch ns error dot code, and case if it is minus 1009, then we sort of let me just break it here. Default uh, break, and what we're gonna do is I'm gonna have one more published variable which is error message get and set, and this guy gonna return a string, and I'm going to get that string here. So self dot error message equal to handle error. By passing the received error, we have to actually implement that published where error message of type string, and initially it's up to the folks if you want to keep it optional, that's better, and set the value here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to return um, no internet connection from here, and if something other than minus 1009, then I'm just going to say again, this is not a good error message. You have to handle as deep as possible when it comes to the error message, but just for simplicity purpose, I'm just showing something went wrong here. So, and on my UI I'm going to now I'm going to add this is a v stack, right? Okay, and inside my z stack I'm going to add a v stack with a text saying that dollar view model dot error message. Actually, if let error message equal to this, then error message background rectangle frame width, um, max width infinity, and frame height as like maybe 44, and background is dot black. How does it look like here? So we have to like set some value for this error message for that to be visible over there. So I'm going to set it as okay. So some basic error message like we are able to like display it. I'm just like going to set the value again back to nil, and let's see what happens now. And every time like when I click the search button, I'm just like going to reset the error message to nil. So I'm going to perform the search query again. Search, we got the response. I'm going to turn off the Wi-Fi and turn on the network conditioner and go and search bike racing and search, and we got something went wrong because the error code is like -1001. So even in that case, I'm going to display the no internet connection. So let's see what happens. Search. Obviously not gonna work because like we have already disabled the network here. So let's search something. So we got the no internet connection error. Okay, this is like from the cached network response. So if you think this is the right way to handle the error, then it's wrong. This is not the right way to handle the error actually. This is just like how typically like folks handle the errors, right? So then like how do we handle the errors in the right way? So to do that, what I'm going to do is, again, I'm just like going to turn these things back on. The domain layer should know that what types of errors might this application needs to handle, right? So I'm going to create this application is like basically about fetching images and like stuff, right? So I'm going to create an error instance error class called image error. Oh, not class actually. I'm just like going to name it as like enum. So enum image error. And what are all the possible cases this image error can have? So one is the resource not found. The other one is obviously the network error. But in network error, like we may have different types of errors, right? We may have the no internet connection error. We may have some 500 internal server errors, those kind of things. So for that purpose, I'm going to create one more error enum called network error case no internet, case request timeout, case internal server error, and you can just like add as much as like you want. And if it is a network error, I'm gonna have this type associated with this particular case. So for now, like I'm just like going to stick with these two errors here. So now we have what kind of errors this application might face when we use this application. So how do we gonna like create an instance of this error, right? So for that purpose, inside the mapper of in the data layer, I'm going to create um, error mapper, which will be like enum error mapper, which can have static func as image error by getting the error instance, and it will give us the image error instance here. So we need to handle the error appropriately here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to check um, case let URL error as um, this one, and if the received error is of type URL error, then I'm going to have switch URL error dot code and case dot not connected to internet or dot network connection lost. Then um, I'm going to call it as network error dot no internet, or if a dot timed out, then I'm going to call it as request timeout. If nothing matches here, I'm going to call it as uh, unknown error, and the same goes for here also. Okay, so basically like these two places, like you can still like handle the error at a granular level, but you know what I'm trying to do, I think. So you do, it's up to you like how granular like you want to handle this particular error. So once you are able to like map your received network error to the image error, then on your repository layer, instead of throwing it, throw error mapper um, dot as image error by passing the error. And obviously you cannot throw something like this because this image error is not yet marked as error type, right? So now we should be able to throw the error from here. Now if you notice one thing, we get the actual network error at the data source. It got thrown from here and it received at the repository layer, and it's the responsibility of the repository to map the received error into the domain specific one. By doing this, your domain layer, which is your use case, it doesn't care like how the error got mapped actually. So it doesn't know anything about the actual error which was like received from the data layer. It just like cares about whether like you are giving it as an image error or not. That's it. right? So that's the whole idea of like doing this separation of concerns, right? Like you received something and you map it to the appropriate type which the domain layer is like expecting. So once you get that error, now here you no longer need to handle this thing here actually. So instead, what you will get is image error is what you will get it here, and obviously like you need so here how do we handle it? If let image error equal to error as image error else, and we're gonna display it here like and if it is not type of image error, which is like very rare but still possible, and that also like needs to be handled. Self dot error message equal to something went wrong. Again, if you notice something like I'm hard coding all these things here, which is not a good practice, and uh, that's not what I'm trying to cover here. Ideally, like when you are developing your production grade application, like you will be keeping these constants in a right place and then like access them. So let me run it again. Search something. This is turned on. Go and search something for the request to timeout maybe. Yeah, your internet connection appears to be slow because like we just like turned off the Wi-Fi, and it takes a bit of time for the operating system to detect the internet is like actually not present. So that's why like we are getting the request timeout error because like I have already configured the timeout interval as like 5 seconds actually. So this seems to be working, and one more thing what we can do here is that like let's say this is for search screen, right? What if you have another screen where you sort of like show the detail of an image, and there also like you will get the image error instance, and it doesn't make sense to go and like create again the same set of code in that screen's respective store, right? So what we can do is like since this is we know that like this is the error message we're going to display for these cases, right? So in the presentation layer, we can sort of and move this logic there. Maybe call it as where mm, self and access them here. You no longer need this handle error method. You just have to call image error dot display value, and that's it. So that like in the next screen also like you can just like catch this error and then like access the display value. So this way like we can reuse the code, and so I think that's it. If you notice like what I have done, basically I don't want my network level error to be propagated to the view store layer, which is like almost the presentation layer, which is not a good sign. You define the error types like whatever your application might face in your domain layer, and in your data layer map it the actual received error to that particular domain layer type, and then like send it back to the presentation layer and let the presentation layer take the decision what error message it wants to show it on the UI. In this way, The data layer is responsible to convert the error into the domain specific one. The domain layer defines it and doesn't care how that error instance gets created because it's already handled on the data layer. And again, the presentation layer takes the full responsibility of displaying what it wants to be displayed on the UI. That's it. I hope this video gave you a clear idea about how we can handle the errors effectively. Please feel free to share your suggestions or feedbacks in the comments. I always go through them. And see you guys on the next video.